If you notice that life is getting really hard, or your finances are not in order, perhaps your business isn't going the way you want it to, there's chaos in some area of your life, whether it's your health, your wealth, your relationships, or all of them. This often happens because life is putting us in a state of preparation, right? Right before we get blessed with what it is that we desired. So when we are seeking to have something manifest in our current reality, as many of you already know, it always begins with an internal shift, an internal promise to become someone new. And when you become someone new, what's essentially happening is you no longer align with all of these things in your current reality. And so the reason why we shed is twofold. Number one, because what we align with right now, or what's in our current reality, is actually what's been holding us back. It's really been weighing us down. We naturally vibrate at a very high level, but a choice to hold on to these things, whether it's a conscious or a subconscious choice, is what's keeping us from achieving our desired reality. Well, really our desired state, which then produces our desired reality. It's very difficult to manifest these things over here, whether it's the money we want to make, the house we want, the relationships and company we want, the kind of content that we want, because subconsciously, many people are still choosing these things in their current reality. It's a programming. And so we shed in order to get rid of these things, which really just brings us to our natural state, which is the highest version of ourself. You end up vibrating at a very high level. The shedding also happens because manifestation is a process of becoming something different, and the material things come as a result of who you become. And so, if that's the case, then right before these things happen, you actually have to dump one of these things. And there's this period of time in which you don't really have anything that exists over here, or in your relationships, or in your living situation, or in the things that are around you or that you're consuming. There's this in between moment, this period of darkness. And what's happening is you're preparing yourself to become the new person who's going to be able to sustain these things. And that's really, in a nutshell, what the shedding phase is. The important thing is to keep in context what's happening, right? Because people want to manifest these things, and they do a very good job of making the internal promise, the internal shift to become the person they need to be. But then they see that these things in our present moment start to crumble, and it comes across as chaos. And what happens is we go into this fight or flight mode, and we try to save these things. But really, when these things fall apart, it's really an invitation to create the new thing. And as you go into this process of creation now, where instead of trying to backpedal to these things, you end up focused on creating something new and filling in these voids. Because remember, you're a co-creator. Your energy becomes such that these things become possible for you now. You end up radiating an energy that is in alignment with these things. And so when I look at my own life, the times where I made the most amount of money, it's really right after the time where I hit rock bottom, whether it was with money or relationships or my health. Right after I hit rock bottom, I ended up soaring. And the reason being is because all the lessons that you can possibly learn for the next step of your journey are in that rock bottom space. It's very hard to learn a lesson when you're winning all the time. And as you go through enough of that, you begin to realize that your manifestation is not an endpoint, but rather a process. It's a process of refinement and success and rock bottom, then refinement, success, rock bottom, preparation, success, rock bottom. But then when you zoom out and you look at the overall graph, it ends up looking like an upwards trend. And that's what you want to keep in mind. So I say all this to say, take the good with the bad. When you're trying to change your life, know that everything is happening for you and not to you. And that the chaos is just as much of the creation process as the materialization of your desires itself. Hope this clears things up, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. See you guys in the next video.